Hi, I'm Sarai. At 62, I thought I'd seen everything life could throw at me, especially when it came to family drama. My daughter Vanessa and her husband Derek had been living with me for almost 8 months while their new house was being renovated. What started as a temporary arrangement had become an increasingly tense situation. Mom, I made these special chocolates for you, Vanessa said one Sunday afternoon, holding out a small box with a single dark chocolate truffle inside. It's that Belgian recipe you always loved. I looked up from my crossword puzzle, noticing something odd in her expression. That's thoughtful, honey. What's the occasion? No occasion. She placed the box on the coffee table. Just appreciation for letting us stay so long. Derek walked into the living room, scrolling through his phone. Your daughter's been slaving away in the kitchen all morning on that thing. It only takes one to perfect a recipe, Vanessa said quickly. Try it, Mom. I want to see if I got it right. I reached for the chocolate but paused. Something felt off. Over the past few weeks, I'd overheard hushed arguments between them about money. My money. Actually, I just had lunch, I said. I'll save it for later. But it's best fresh, Vanessa insisted, her smile tightening. The ganache center. Let Derek try it, I suggested. He's always had a sweet tooth. No, Vanessa said, too sharply, then softened. I mean, I made it specifically for you with less sugar. You know Derek likes things super sweet. Derek looked up. I'll try anything chocolate. Is that the thing you were making this morning? It's for Mom, Vanessa repeated, an edge to her voice. I picked up the chocolate and smiled at Derek. Here, you can be my taste tester. I insist. Before Vanessa could object, Derek took the chocolate and popped it into his mouth. Thanks, Sarai. Vanessa never lets me. His face changed instantly. First confusion, then disgust, followed by panic. He spit the chocolate into his hand and rushed to the kitchen sink. What's in this? He demanded, rinsing his mouth frantically. It tastes like chemicals. Vanessa stood frozen, her face drained of color. Vanessa? I asked calmly. What exactly did you put in that chocolate? Nothing. It must have gone bad or something, she stammered. My friend Claire, who had been quietly reading in the corner armchair, looked up with concern. Everything okay over there? Derek was still spitting into the sink. That was not food. That was definitely not food. It was just chocolate, Vanessa insisted, but her voice quavered. Claire approached us. Sarai, what's happening? I think, I said slowly, watching my daughter's panicked expression, that my daughter just tried to poison me? That's ridiculous, Vanessa cried. Why would I do that? I heard you and Derek arguing last night, I said quietly. About my life insurance policy. The silence that fell was deafening. Derek turned from the sink, his expression horrified as he looked at his wife. Vanessa, he whispered. Tell me you didn't. Claire reached for her phone. I'm calling the police. No, wait, Vanessa began. Yes, I interrupted, my heart breaking even as I made the decision. Call them. You can't be serious, Vanessa pleaded, her voice rising. Mom, this is a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Derek approached her, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. That chocolate tasted like battery acid. What did you put in it? Nothing, I swear. Vanessa's eyes darted between us. Maybe the cream went bad or... Stop lying, I said quietly. I've suspected something was wrong for weeks. The way you've been checking my medication, asking about my will. Claire held up her phone. Police are on their way. They said don't touch anything else in the kitchen. This is insane, Vanessa hissed. My own mother thinks I'm trying to kill her? Are you? Derek demanded, because I sure as hell didn't imagine what was in that chocolate. She actually tried to poison you? My sister Helen's voice echoed through my kitchen the next morning, coffee cup suspended halfway to her lips. Her own mother? The police took the chocolate for testing, I explained, gripping my own mug tightly. Derek's fine, thankfully. Whatever she used, it wasn't enough to do serious harm in just one bite. Where is she now? They took her in for questioning last night. Derek's staying with a friend. He's devastated. Helen shook her head. I always thought Vanessa was difficult. But this? What did the police say exactly? That they need to analyze the chocolate before pressing charges. But Derek's statement about the taste and his reaction is pretty damning. My neighbor Marcus knocked on the open back door before stepping in. Sarai? Claire called me. Are you okay? I've been better, I admitted as he joined us at the table. I still can't believe it, Helen muttered. There must be some explanation. I sighed. I found her diary. She's been writing about the life insurance money for months, how it could solve their debt problems. You read her diary? Marcus raised an eyebrow. After she tried to poison me? Yes, I read her diary, I replied flatly. And I found receipts for chemicals in her desk drawer. Helen's face hardened. Defend her all you want, Marcus, but the evidence is piling up. I'm not defending her, Marcus protested. I'm just saying we should wait for the lab results before... Before what? I interrupted. Before believing she tried to kill her own mother for money? Because that's exactly what happened. Did the diary mention anything specific? Helen asked, leaning forward. About methods or timing? Yes, I replied, my stomach churning at the memory. There was a page where she wrote about untraceable methods and making it look natural. She even researched which poisons mimic heart attacks. My God, Marcus whispered. There's more, I continued. She wrote about Dad's death, how easily it happened. Helen gasped. You don't think... I do. I nodded grimly. I think Edward's death wasn't as natural as we believed. My phone rang. Detective Rivera. Mrs. Collins? We've got preliminary results on that chocolate. It contained a substantial amount of warfarin, a blood thinner that can be fatal in high doses. My hands trembled. And you found this in my daughter's possession? We found the container in your home, in her toiletry bag. She's denying everything, claiming someone must have planted it. Thank you, Detective. What happens now? We're holding her while the district attorney decides on charges. Your son-in-law's testimony has been very helpful. After ending the call, I relayed the information to Helen and Marcus. Warfarin, Helen whispered. Sarai, she could have killed you. That was the plan, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Now I need to make sure she faces consequences. What will you do? Marcus asked. First, I'm changing my will, immediately. Then I'm pressing for full charges. But she's your daughter, Marcus said gently. Helen slammed her hand on the table. A daughter who tried to murder her mother doesn't deserve sympathy. I agree, I said firmly. No mother should have to fear her own child. Have you talked to Derek again? Helen asked. He called earlier. He's horrified and cooperating with the police. Says he had no idea what she was planning. Do you believe him? Marcus questioned. I do. You should have seen his face when he tasted that chocolate. There was genuine shock there. My doorbell rang, and Claire walked in moments later. Sarai, I've been thinking, she said without preamble. You need to go public with this. Other family members need to be warned about what Vanessa is capable of. I nodded slowly. You're right. No more protecting her. No more secrets. What about forgiveness? Marcus suggested. Maybe with therapy? Forgiveness, I laughed bitterly. For trying to murder me? No, there are some lines that can't be uncrossed. The visitation room at the county jail was cold and sterile. When they brought Vanessa in, I barely recognized her without makeup, in the orange jumpsuit, her confident posture replaced with a defensive slouch. Mom, she said, sitting across from me. Thank you for coming. Don't thank me, I replied evenly. I'm here for answers, not reconciliation. Claire sat beside me, silent but supportive. I didn't do it, Vanessa insisted, leaning forward. You have to believe me. Someone set me up. The warfarin was found in your toiletry bag, I stated. Your fingerprints were on the container. I've never seen that container before. Someone must have planted it there. Stop lying, Vanessa, Claire interjected. The evidence is overwhelming. Stay out of this, Vanessa snapped. This is between me and my mother. I shook my head. No. You lost the right to private conversations when you tried to kill me. Mom, please. Her voice softened, eyes welling with tears. I would never hurt you. You know that, right? We've had our differences, but I love you. Like you loved your father before he died? Conveniently leaving you everything? Her face paled. What are you saying? I'm saying this isn't the first time someone close to you has been poisoned, is it? That's insane. Dad died of natural causes. Did he? I've requested they exhume his body for testing. Vanessa's facade cracked. You can't do that. He's been gone for years. Warfarin leaves traces even after death, Claire explained coldly, especially with prolonged exposure. Why, Vanessa? I asked, my voice finally breaking. Was money really worth more than my life? You don't understand, she whispered. We're drowning in debt. The house renovations, Derek's gambling. Derek's what? I interrupted. He's been gambling for years, she admitted. We're about to lose everything. So you decided I should lose my life instead? It wouldn't have been painful, she said, then stopped abruptly, realizing her mistake. The silence hung heavy between us. You just confessed, Claire said quietly, reaching into her purse and placing a small recorder on the table. Vanessa's eyes widened in horror. You were recording this? That's illegal. Actually, I replied, I notified the guards before we came in. This is completely admissible. Mom, please, she begged. I wasn't thinking clearly. I can get help. We can work through this. There is no working through attempted murder, Vanessa. I'm your daughter. No, I said, standing up. My daughter died the moment she decided my life was worth sacrificing for money. Her face contorted with rage. You self-righteous bitch! You've always loved your money more than me anyway. And there it is, I said sadly. The real Vanessa. When I get out of here, she hissed, you'll regret this. Both of you will. As she lunged across the table, the guards rushed in to restrain her. Add threatening behavior to her charges, I told them calmly. We have it recorded. You think you've won? Vanessa shouted as they pulled her back. This isn't over. I know people. That's enough, one guard warned, restraining her firmly. You've never appreciated anything I've done, she continued, struggling against their hold. All those years taking care of you after Dad died. Taking care of me? I echoed. Is that what you call slowly stealing my jewelry? Convincing me I was becoming forgetful so you could control my finances? I was protecting you. From what? Having enough money to live independently? To not need you? Claire stood beside me. Sarai, let's go. She's not worth any more of your time. Listen to your friend, Vanessa sneered. Run away like you always do. I'm not running, I replied, gathering my purse. I'm choosing peace over poison, in every sense of the word. As we walked toward the door, Vanessa called out, You'll never prove anything about Dad. Never! I turned back one last time. We already have the preliminary results. They found the Warfarin Vanessa. Game over? All rise, the court officer announced. The Honorable Judge Terrence Michaels presiding. 6 months had passed since that fateful day with the chocolate. The courtroom was packed for the sentencing hearing. Derek sat on the bench behind me, a changed man since discovering his wife's true nature. Beside him were Helen, Claire, and Marcus, my support system through this nightmare. Mrs. Collins, Judge Michaels addressed me after we were seated. Would you like to make a victim impact statement before I pronounce sentencing? I approached the podium, facing Vanessa directly. Your Honor, when a stranger harms you, it's a crime. When your child tries to murder you, it's an abomination against nature itself. My daughter planned my death meticulously, choosing a method that would appear natural, that would leave me bleeding internally until my organs failed. Vanessa stared at the table, refusing to meet my eyes. The investigation revealed this was an impulse, but calculation. The exhumation of my late husband confirmed he too had been poisoned with warfarin, gradually, over months. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. I ask for the maximum sentence, not out of vengeance. but protection, for myself and others. Returning to my seat, I felt a strange lightness. The truth was finally out. Judge Michaels turned to Vanessa. "Does the defendant wish to speak?" She stood slowly. "Your Honor, I've made terrible mistakes. I wasn't in my right mind. With treatment and time, I could—" "Save it," the judge interrupted. "The jury found you guilty on all counts. I've reviewed the evidence, including your threatening behavior toward your mother during visitation." He adjusted his glasses. "Vanessa Collins, I hereby sentence you to 25 years for the attempted first-degree murder of Sarai Collins, with an additional 20 years for the second-degree murder of Edward Collins, to be served consecutively." The gavel struck with finality. Outside the courthouse, reporters gathered around us. "Mrs. Collins, how do you feel about the verdict?" one shouted. "Justice has been served," I replied simply. "Do you have any words for other families dealing with betrayal?" asked another. "Trust your instincts," I said after a moment. "When something feels wrong, it usually is. And remember that love doesn't excuse abuse or betrayal." "What about forgiveness?" a reporter called out. "Will you ever forgive your daughter?" Derek stepped forward protectively. "That's enough questions for today." Later that evening, my friends gathered at my home. "To Sarai," Derek toasted, raising his glass. "The strongest woman I know." "I still can't believe she killed Dad, too," Helen said quietly. "The forensic pathologist found warfarin levels consistent with long-term poisoning," I explained. "She was more patient with him." Claire squeezed my hand. "What will you do now?" "Live," I said firmly. "I've established a foundation for victims of familial crime. Derek's helping me run it." He nodded. "It's the least I can do. I should have seen the signs." "We all missed them," Marcus added. "The important thing is that you're safe now." "The prosecutor said she's already trying to appeal," Helen mentioned cautiously. "Let her try," I replied. "The evidence is irrefutable." "She sent me a letter," Derek admitted, "asking me to visit, claiming she has things to explain." "And will you?" Claire asked. He shook his head. "Some betrayals can't be explained away." "What did the letter say exactly?" Helen pressed, always curious. Derek sighed. "That she did it for us, for our future. That I should understand why she needed the money." "Classic manipulation," Marcus observed, "making it sound like she committed attempted murder out of love." "The worst part," Derek continued, "is that she claimed I knew about her plan all along, that I was in on it from the beginning." "That's absurd," Claire exclaimed. "We all saw your reaction when you tasted that chocolate." "The DA says it's a common tactic," I explained, "trying to spread the blame when cornered." "Did you ever suspect anything?" Helen asked Derek directly. "About Edward's death, I mean." He shook his head firmly. "Never. She told me he had a heart condition. I had no reason to doubt it." "None of us did," I assured him. "Vanessa was always good at hiding her true nature." I looked around at these people who had stood by me through the darkest chapter of my life. "You know, they say revenge is sweet," I mused. "But justice, real justice, that's satisfying in a way that outlasts any momentary triumph." "To justice, then," Helen raised her glass. "And to second chances," I added. "At life, at trust, at family, the kind we choose." Have you ever discovered someone close to you wasn't who you thought they were? How would you handle such a devastating betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of justice served.